The goal of the tool is it's made by a custom data set that is constantly evolving. So all of the feedback that is provided to it is an opportunity for the data set to continue to learn and add unbiased value to the marketplace, which again is just our overall mission of giving that access to a shortlist tool. So we'll talk a little bit more about it and then give you a live demo. The QR code is right up here on the screen. It'll take you directly to the page. Again, it's a free public tool. So go ahead and give that a scan. With that, Adam, tell us a little bit about how it's been the week after you announced a new selection tool or shortlist tool to the marketplace.
So just by way of quick introduction, my name is Adam Cheatham. I'm the CEO of the Confluencial. You hear a lot of philosophy and approaches that are based on information being king and accessible and all of that stuff. So our goal with this tool was to make information accessible in a way that it ought to be, right? Nobody should have a monopoly of thought on what it means to narrow to a short list of potential ERP vendors. And we believe in that quite strongly at the Confluencial. At the end of the day, that type of information in the marketplace is about helping people on what's a difficult journey by giving them the information that can be consolidated effectively and making it free and accessible. So that is what we are seeking to do in saying, look, narrowing your prospects of an ERP to a short list of 3-4 vendors isn't something that should be overly hard, overly expensive, or overly time consuming. I've done it for decades, and I've had many conversations with clients, which in the first 20 minutes, I've known what their shortlist is. And we just think that it's fair to share that type of knowledge with people and say, well, if I can figure that out, I can teach an AI to do that. And that's what we've done. So we've created a proprietary database that's based on decades of experience in ERP, and as well as informed by the market overall. And we're providing that access to clients for free, so that they anybody out there, frankly, whether they're a client or not, can start to understand what this picture looks like. River AI will ask you some questions about your business, about your pain points, and the like, and it will generate what it is as a useful shortlist for you for free within a couple of minutes.
We'll take a look at it here just in a quick second, because many people are asking, like, how do I sign up to get access to it? It's on our website. It's completely free. You can utilize it. You can check your own shortlist. You can do whatever you want with it. You can try and break it. We welcome that. That helps us learn, helps the tool learn, and helps the industry learn. So with that, let's take a look at it. So again,
Kyla's pulling it up. I'll answer a couple of these quick questions. How often is it updated? How customizable is it? And all that jazz. The idea here is to create a tool that continues learning, right? So how we update it will include all kinds of new sources of information as we go. And when we start thinking about integrations and deployment models and those types of things, those will all be pieces of this conversation. And as the tool learns, they will become bigger and more important parts of the discussion, and we'll be able to provide even better answers.
All right. So introducing River AI. So again, this is a focused ERP shortlist. This aggregates actual consultant selection information as opposed to just scraping and scrolling the internet for things that software vendors have paid for as far as placement, things like that. So when we look at it, we go down here and we talk about the proprietary Hatch database. It helps you narrow down options. It's not ChatGPT. It's really a comprehensive tool that brings the experience in a unique way to match your business. So let's get started, Adam. Tell me a little bit about your business and why you're considering a new ERP.
Yeah, and a couple of things. The Hatch chart database, I want to give a little bit more information about that, because this is where this is our knowledge space. This is our knowledge center that we built. And the thought process is based on fly fishing, where you have to match the hatch very often on how do I figure out what it is I should be fishing with. The idea here is similar, right? How do you figure out what you ought to be fishing for when we're talking about ERP? So we built that ourselves to create that knowledge base, and we're continuing to teach it every day. So as we think about this, the overall goal here is to give you an opportunity to speak to the tool, speak to River AI. So When we start talking about getting started, we've seen all kinds of responses, anything from quick one-line questions for a small business that does manufacturing to more comprehensive things. The more information you put in the tool, the better your answers are going to be. So what I would suggest that we enter in here, we say, I'm a medium-sized distribution company that focuses on consumer packaged goods. I'm having trouble with traceability of materials as well as my supply chain lead times. I need better business intelligence and want to be able to cut down on manual error-prone processes.
Good.
And you can share as much information as you like. That will all be included in the analysis that's provided. So the more you give River AI to think about, the better its information will be.
All right. So what industry does your business operate in?
Distribution and logistics.
How many employees do you have?
Let's say 501 to 2,000.
Okie dokie. What is your company's annual revenue?
Let's go with 100 million to 250 million.
Are you currently using ERP software?
Yes.
What kind of ERP software are you using?
I'm currently using Microsoft Great Plains.
What are the primary goals for implementing an ERP system?
Improved traceability, better financial visibility, and more efficient processes.
Do you prefer an on-premise ERP or a cloud-based ERP?
Let's go with cloud-based. Using Microsoft Great Plains for long enough on premises caused me problems.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
And this is another great opportunity to round out any other things that you guys want to be able to tell the tool so that it can provide you with a comprehensive response. For right now, we'll just simply say no. But if there's anything that you thought about and you wanted to say, we actually aren't using just ERP, we have a fully integrated best of breed environment that's causing us problems with integrations, or I have international requirements where I need to be able to track multi-language, multi-currency. I have particular unique requirements because I'm a process manufacturer, or I'm in aerospace and defense, so I need to be ITAR compliant. All of those things are good things for the tool to know so that it can narrow in on this. Because at the end of the day, this isn't a Google search. It's not ChatGPT. It's designed to know the types of things it needs to. And so anything that would be a differentiating requirement for you, something that you consider to be critical to your ability to grow into your digital transformation, would be good information. Say I have multiple locations in multiple countries and I need to track multi-currency.
All right. So you have to accept the terms and conditions.
The goal here for complying with terms and conditions is so that we want to email you this shortlist, right? What we want to have happen, like, yeah, we could put it in the bottom of the text and we're going to do that as well. We won't want it to be something that you can take with you, which is why we want to email it to you. And we don't want to be in a position where we're emailing you unwanted things. That's not the goal. But because of privacy standards and those types of things, we just want to be doubly careful with saying, we're going to send you an email. Can you give us approval to do that? So that when we send you your shortlist over email, you can actually tell us that that's what you want. And if you don't, that's okay. When no hard feelings. We can't give you a short list without it. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. The nice part about the email piece is it also gives you an opportunity to book time to go through and ask your questions, again, for free. So I think that's helpful. But let's see what we got here. Okay, so here's a preview of the shortlist. Again, the shortlist will be more succinct with a lot more information in your email. So based on the information you provided, here are 4 recommendations that might be a great fit. We have one, which is Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management. So a lot of times when you put in a current system, it's going to give you information about other versions of that system that's in the marketplace. And what it does is it gives you pros and cons. So pros, it has a strong BI with Power BI scalability and extensive partner network. Cons, it might be overkill for simpler operations and can be quite a steep learning curve if you don't have that kind of training infrastructure already established. It goes down to NetSuite. So NetSuite's comprehensive, cloud-based, obviously. Some pros are it's a strong financial capabilities, multi-subsidiary management, customability. Cons is it can be very complex for smaller businesses and higher costs compared to some of the other SMB options in the marketplace. So Infor Cloud Suite distribution. So Infor has a lot of industry specific solutions that are really tailored for distributors. Great option here if you're looking for that kind of deeper functionality in those areas like inventory, order management, and procurement. So pros, very AI driven insights. So if you're looking for kind of those AI competencies, this is a great option. Cons is that implementation can be complex for these. So you certainly will need support on that. And some new users report slow customer service support. That totally depends on your local team, your implementation planning, all of those different things, which is why this is just a short list. There's so many other things that go into this conversation as well. SAP Business One, a lot of people are like, why? SAP Business One is still a great option for a lot of people. As much as they want you on their HANA platform, it's great for small to mid-sized businesses with a lot of very mature functionality. Depending on what you need, it's very robust and has strong reporting. And of course, it's part of SAP, which has a global presence in the marketplace. It can be higher priced, and its potential for add-ons with this system, specifically with SAP putting more of their R&D into the HANA platform. Depending on which suite you choose here, you might need more industry specific add-ons or modules. But again, within the SAP marketplace, that's very easy to get. So then it gives you an opportunity to email us if you have questions, if you want to go through your shortlist. If you were like, well, I really thought Odoo was a great option for me. You're able to kind of book some time and see why the tool, kind of dig into the database in the back end, why the tool didn't recommend something like Odoo. So you can get more information on if you wanted a modular and open source system, here's what you would need to kind of tweak to your processes to kind of meet that system where it is. So it just gives you that access and that information without having to kind of figure out which Infor version do I need? Which SAP version do I need? Which Microsoft version do I need? It does a lot of that heavy lifting for you.
And again, the goal with this is to give you a list to be dangerous with, right? If you don't agree with it and you say, well, look, I really like Epicor and I've heard great things about it. We're not here to authoritatively tell you not to do something, right? You will know your business better than anybody else. But what we would seek to do is to continue to give you access to information and experience that you can leverage without cost, right? Set up some time to chat with us. Ask us, why isn't Epicor on this short list? And we'll dig into that and say, you know what? That's a great question. What makes you think it ought to be? And you say, well, as a distributor, I've heard great things about their transportation modules and those types of things. We can talk through that and say, actually what you might find is that these systems do that just as well. And now that we talk about you as an organization, you are in more of the $150 million range. So maybe finance and supply chain, Microsoft is too big for you. And if you wanted to run with Epicor in that place, this is how we would suggest you think about that challenge. And so what that allows us to do is to continue giving you access to the information that's useful, that ought to be accessible to you, so that you can make good decisions. From there, it becomes a conversation of how do you do this well? I can promise you every single one of the expert witness cases that I've been involved in has had absolutely nothing to do with whether or not the software works. The software works just fine. And in 9 out of 10 cases, the fact that the software works just fine and you're directionally accurate on which one of these software packages would fit, the rest of the conversation comes down to how do you implement it? Each one of these systems in this short list will implement differently. Microsoft Finance and Supply Chain going to be extremely detail oriented in the implementation. You have to be able to tell that software what you want it to do and how you want it to do it, which is fine. That can be an advantage, especially for a complex organization. For less complex organizations, things like NetSuite, Business One are going to be more rigid in saying, this is how that process is done in this software, and you don't have a ton of options. That's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just a thing, right? What do you need in a software and how do you implement it well? Infor gives you a little bit more of a blend between the two. from a cloud suite perspective. And so you have some influence over configurations that you don't have with things like NetSuite, but it doesn't require you to know all the answers like Microsoft will. Again, not good things, not bad things, just things that we want to be able to help you in your ERP journey figure out and plan for. And at the end of the day, if that's the best that we can do to help you and you're off and on your way, that's the goal. If you find that you need more help, we will of course offer. That's what we're here for. We're here to help. We're not here to create some type of a strange dynamic between us and clients that leverages our experience and knowledge as if it were something that belongs under lock and key.
Yeah.
That's not fair to anybody. And so we want to be able to help you implement well, focus on the things that matter, because most organizations that are described the way that I described the one in this that Kyler wrote in could pick any of these software packages as a result of a good, solid selection, right? Let's make sure we do all the rest of our due diligence on figuring out which one of these four is the right one for us. Pick it, buy it, and then focus on getting it right. That's the hard part.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm going to stop sharing this. We encourage you all to try it. If you find something, I've had people already reach out to me and be like, hey, I tried it. I really liked it. It was a great user experience, but I do think this system should have been in there. Then we set up a call. They tell me why, and we look at the data set and see if there's something that needs to be enhanced there. It is absolutely a community driven tool. So we invite you to continue to provide that feedback.